Have you ever had rhubarb liqueur, rhubarb vodka, things like that? Well, I haven't, because, you know, can't find them here. So, here we go again. Gotta make our own liqueur from scratch. Yay. Alright, so we're gonna start, well, with some fresh rhubarb, of course. And stick around, guys. Make sure you subscribe, because Friday's video, we are making 3 awesome cocktails with this liqueur. So stick around, and shout out to a member of my local foodie group for providing me with some amazing, fresh, local rhubarb. Look at that. Look at that color. Amazing. No, you can't have any. It's toxic for dogs. Come on now. Okay, for our spirit base, we're using a local vodka, and we're also going to use a touch of Grand Marnier. It's going to elevate that rhubarb flavor. We're also going to need some sugar syrup, add a little bit of sweetness to our liqueur. All right, so let's get going. We're going to grab a nice big mason jar, and to that, we're going to add about 350 grams of chopped rhubarb. I'm actually doing a double batch, so I'm going to double what you see on the screen. So I had about 1.5 pounds, which is about 700 grams of chopped rhubarb. I actually ended up needing a second mason jar, so because the first one wasn't big enough. Okay, to that we're going to add 1.5 cups of our vodka. Again, I'm doing a double batch. I'm going to add 3 cups of vodka. Now, don't worry. I know I'm mixing the two in 2 mason jars, but at the end, when we strain, I'm going to combine the 2 together. Whenever you do, whenever you're splitting a liqueur into various containers, before bottling whatever, you want to mix them again so that you have a consistent flavor. So don't worry, I will do that. All right, so our third cup goes into the second mason jar. Okay, we're running out of room already. After that, we're going to do a 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier. So that orange flavor, it's going to give it a richness, and that orange flavor is going to kind of elevate the rhubarb flavor. Because rhubarb is a pretty mild flavor, pretty subtle flavor. So we really want to elevate it as much as we can. And I do think the Grand Marnier does that. This is not my recipe. I'll link below to where I found the recipe. But this is just a standard recipe I found online for making a rhubarb liqueur, and I think it worked really well. Okay, so mixing the Grand Marnier between the 2 jars. All right. Our last ingredient is going to be our sugar syrup. This is just a plain 1-to-1 simple syrup. So 1 part water, 1 part sugar. We need 1/8 cup of our simple syrup, but since I'm making a double, once again, I'm doing 1/4 cup, which I'm dividing between the 2 jars. Looking good. Okay, now we will adjust for sugar at the end. So when we strain everything to our final liqueur, we will adjust the sugar so you can make it as sweet or as dry as you want. This is like what we've done here is not a whole lot of sweetness. Okay, give it a quick mix, and then we will seal these guys up, and they need to steep, they need to infuse for no less than 2 weeks. All right. Okay, so we're gonna seal them up, and we're going to put these away and let it infuse for 2 weeks. Mine went for about 2.5 weeks. You'll know when they're ready, and look at that, all the red color seeped out of the rhubarb, and you've got a beautiful, beautiful color to your liquid. Now we have to strain it. So standard process, we do this all the time with liqueurs. We've got a nice big carafe here, and then we have a funnel lined with 2 coffee filters, and we're gonna pour all our liquid through there. And this took a while. I didn't think it would take this long, but it took about 45 minutes for the whole thing. Look at that. There's like no color left in the rhubarb. All that goodness, all that flavor has seeped out into the booze. What we can do is muddle it to try to extract every last bit of juice. So muddle the pieces of rhubarb that's left in the jar, and then strain that back into the funnel. So just let that sit. Like I said, it took about 45 minutes to an hour. Now we need to adjust for sugar. So I'm going to grab a Glencairn and give this a quick little sniff, quick little taste. The rhubarb flavor is really strong, really present. I love it. The taste, it was a little dry, so I will adjust a little bit of sugar. I do like my liqueurs a little more dry. I like to adjust sugar, because it's rare that I'm going to drink this on its own. I'm going to make cocktails with it, so you can adjust the sugar when you make a cocktail. But I did add an ounce of simple syrup just to sweeten it a tad. You could add more if you want a sweeter liqueur. But I was happy with the level of dryness, level of sugar, and the rhubarb flavor. So we need to bottle these. So I've got some swing top bottles. And this so the one batch should fill one of these 17-ounce swing tops. If it doesn't reach the top, you can always add a little bit of vodka, a little bit of sugar syrup to just bring it up to the edge. But this filled it up pretty well to the top for both bottles. And you know the drill, we're going to slap on a sexy label. And there you go. There's the rhubarb liqueur. This was really good, really flavorful. It's fairly dry, as I mentioned, because that's how I like my liqueurs. That Grand Marnier really helps to elevate the rhubarb flavor, but it's very present. So stick around, guys, because Friday I'm going to be making 3 awesome cocktails using my rhubarb liqueur. So stick around. We will see you next time. Cheers, guys.